Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to share with you how running has made a huge impact on my weight loss journey and my overall health and wellness. I've been struggling for many years to stay consistent in the gym or consistent with a diet, nutrition, exercise, etc. I've always done it on, off, but never consistently. Always something coming up. Now, at the end of the day, this comes down to discipline, and some of us have it, some of us don't. Some of us have the ability to sort of manage, and some of us fall off sometimes, and I think that's all right. You just have to get back up. So, quick story. The way I got into running is very, very hilarious. So, what happened was I got a new doctor, and this guy was no joke. He sort of just tells it as it is. And I remember he told me, hey, you can't be this weight, and with your blood work and so forth, you got to get in a healthy balance. So he had me do my blood work and so forth. I come back 3 months later, no progress, right? So he's sort of laid into me, and I stuck with this guy because I like people that are honest. You can always look for people who will satiate your feelings, but it's more important to have people around you or work with people, in this case a doctor, that was just straightforward. So this guy, just told me things as it is, and he's like, hey, you got to come back in another 3 months. I want to see some progress with your blood work and your health, your weight, etc. So another 3 months is coming by, and now I'm getting nervous because I'm about a month away from my appointment, and I still haven't done anything. So I remember just feeling that anxiety and just putting on a pair of shoes and getting outside and just going for a run. Like it was the easiest thing to do, and I was like, I gotta do this, I gotta do this. So the next day, I go to the Nike outlet, and the cheapest pair of shoes there was a Pegasus 37, and not that that matters, but I picked that up because it was, with all the discounts, it was just under $40, and I picked those shoes up, and I kept on doing it every day, and then I just started to make it a habit, because I got into it, you know, because there was a timeline, and I started running, and then I just kept on doing it. And I swear to you, the first day I ran, I walked, I ran, I walked. The second day, same thing, but just a little bit more running than walking. The third day, you might not believe this, but I just ran the whole loop in my area, which is just about 2.7 miles. Now, granted, this is like really like a slow jog, but 14, 15 minutes per mile. And, looking back, I had no reference for what that meant because I just was using my phone to track it. And yeah, that's how I got in. That's how it started. That's really how it started. So when I went back to the doctor, I was down like 15 pounds within a month. And we all know that first set of weight is easier to lose because there's a lot of water weight, especially when you change your diet a little bit. You cut back on those carbohydrates and lower your overall calories. So he was happy, and he was like, "Hey, let's continue this." And on my second visit, well, this would be my fourth visit, but on my second visit since making progress, I was down 30 pounds, and that he was really proud of. So I would say I kind of stalled. My last visit that I did, I was only down like 3 pounds from the last time, and you know now I'm really starting to realize that my nutrition is very important. So now I started doing meal preps, and hopefully I'm gonna start recording those and making videos on how my meal prep works. Basically rice, chicken, beef, and vegetables. I do have an upcoming appointment. I will be asking him a couple of questions about Ozempic or certain weight loss opportunities. Um, I've seen good research on. I'm generally against taking drugs, period. Um, but I've seen a lot of good data on that. I've done some research and I've seen uh, well qualified people talk about this, and I'm going to be asking to see if this is something I want to implement. So a great part of the story, going back to the running thing, is that I signed up for a 5K um, within the first, I think I was 6 weeks into running when I did my first 5K, and I ran 35 minutes. Oh, just under 35. I have to look that up. If I find it, I'll just put it on the screen. And I remember thinking to myself, I remember quite vividly, I'm halfway through the race and I'm growing strong. I'm maintaining my pace at that point, but there's so many people passing me. First thing in the morning, and the sun is rising. So there's certain parts of the run in which you can see people's shadows, right? And I don't know if you guys ever watched David Goggins, but he talks about snatching souls. And what's really funny is that I would see people's shadows coming up as I'm running. And the only thing happening in my mind, just being competitive, is I can't let this person pass me. I'll just be pushing as hard as I could. And of course, they snatched me, right? They totally snatched my soul. And that happened over and over and over and over again, during this 5K. And so I immediately signed up for another one that was about 4 to 6 weeks after. And the whole goal was not to get snatched. I wasn't going up there to do the snatching. I was going up there to sort of mitigate the snatching. So on that run, which I still think is my fastest, that one turned out to be 31 minutes, 30 minutes and change. So I average around 10 minutes a mile. And hopefully my next one, which I haven't done one in a while, my next one, hopefully, we can get under that 30, get down to maybe 28, 27. And so I'm training for that. So the absolute worst part about that whole shadow situation I talked about is that older folks, I'm talking about folks twice my age, was just passing me. Folks that were overweight, just like me, not that I'm judging, were passing me. I'm just looking, I'm like, how is that guy who's pushing two kids in a stroller passing me? And it's depressing, It's depressing. Not to judge anyone, but it's like, God, I gotta beat these fellows. So that competitive side of me is in there. And if I could use it to benefit me and continuing to stay on a healthy route, then I'm all for it. But generally speaking, you don't want to be hating on folks. But I just thought that was funny. However, along this journey, I also did a half marathon, which I came in 180 of 180 that finished. Over 200 people started the race, 180 finished. I was the 180, and that was rough, but it's rewarding once you get it done. There's many times I wanted to quit, especially at the beginning of that race. There was this guy, man, he was so, he wasn't your typical looking runner. I think he had on Brazilian clothing, and he was moving at a pace that made no sense to me. He did the half in 1 hour and 3 minutes. I looked up his time. That's insane. What's that, 12 to 13 miles an hour? It's crazy. He passed me multiple times because there was there's 3 loops throughout this community, and that guy he was hauling butt. It was amazing to watch. Definitely a point of inspiration and motivation.
Running can really suck, no matter how much you slice it. But you just gotta do it. You just gotta put in the miles.
So we got 2 5Ks under the belt. We've got a half marathon under the belt. Also want to do more 5Ks just because that's more fun. And I also want to do another half and a full. Do a full. I definitely have to get a full under my belt. Ultra? Nope. No. So why run? Why continue? A few different reasons. Great way to get cardio. And I find personally there's a tremendous sense of calm once you get like a mile in. Like you just feel like you can go on forever. You cannot, but you feel like that in that moment. There's a tremendous, it's like a meditation. And sometimes I think we need that isolated, lonely time to just be with our own thoughts. For me, the music playing in my ears, it's a good feeling. However, because I'm a bigger guy and I want to inspire folks that are on the heavier side to get into running and just overall health, I want to mention that you want to prevent as much as possible injuring yourself. And I haven't, thank God, knock on wood, I haven't had any injuries. But what I've been doing since day one is watching Knees Over Toes, the YouTuber, who's proven to do a lot of work in sort of bulletproofing your knees and getting them stronger. So I do go to the gym, or sometimes I just do some of the stuff at home, lunges. This weird thing when you go against the wall. There's a few different things. You should check him out. Just type in Knees Over Toes and you'll find him. Or another channel that I watch to learn how to take care of my muscle groups and my body and so forth is the Squat University channel. I think that guy is brilliant. I mean, using bands and different ways to get your body to focus on using one muscle group instead of another, or isolating one muscle that might not be awake, quote unquote. So Squat University, I think, get some good tips there on what you should be doing. If you can afford it, just hire somebody who is in that, but I can't afford that. So I'm so grateful that running has had a very positive impact on my life. It's not just about losing weight. It's also, about feeling strong, motivated. It brings a sense of confidence, and it can be very inspiring. And I hope to be an inspiration to the folks that are listening. And, I'll see you on the next one. So if you like this, subscribe. I hope to be growing a community and sharing my experiences with everyone. And, comment if you have any questions. And, we'll take it from there. Much peace and love until next time. I'm out.